6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, the home of Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. There they gave dinner for him. Martha served, and Lazarus was one of those at the table with him. Mary took a pound of costly perfume made of pure nard, anointed Jesus' feet, and wiped them with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume, but Judas Iscariot, one of his disciples, the one that was about to betray him, said, "Why was this perfume not sold for 300 denarii and the money given to the poor?" He said this not because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. He kept the common purse and used to steal what was put in it. Jesus said, "Leave her alone. She bought it so that she might keep it for the day of my burial. You will always have the poor with you, but you do not always have me." When the great crowd of the Jews learned that he was there, they came not only because of Jesus, but also to see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. So the chief priests planned to put Lazarus to death as well, since it was on account of him that many of the Jews were deserting and believing in Jesus. So I found that really poignant when Bruce told us about the story and his sermon on it. And so I looked it up even further, and it's really painted a bigger picture of it now. So I didn't even know that Mary, Martha and Lazarus were all related. Probably a bit remiss of me, but so it's brought a different picture to me that this household that Jesus was friends with have opened their house to him and the 12 for a dinner. And so here they were all turned up, and the outskirts of Jerusalem being hot and dry and dusty. It was customary for when people came to your house to give them a bowl of fresh water so that they could cleanse themselves and wash their feet. And then the host of the house would give them a few drops of a perfume that they'd wipe on their face, hair and on their hands so that they felt refreshed before going in to dine with you. So here they've all turned up, and Mary's invited them in, and they're all sat down. There go my notes. And she's brought out this anointment that they say was in an alabaster bottle. And they know from the description of this bottle that it was around about 600 mils, which is about $6,000 worth, which is a lot. And they weren't wealthy people on it. They were just ordinary people. So that was bought by Mary because she saw that he raised her own brother, and so she's seen the miracles that this man has done. She's heard the stories. They've been friends a long time, and she knows that this isn't just a run-of-the-mill person. She knows that this is God in front of her, and so she's brought this oil to anoint him on the day of his burial. She knows it's coming because she's seen the soldiers searching for Jesus. There's talk about them arresting Lazarus because of all of the interest that's happening because of these two people around town. So she knows that soon he'll be arrested and that will lead to his demise. So she's bought this oil in preparation for that day, but instead of just giving him a few drops, she's actually poured it all over him. Matthew and Mark's take of this is that she poured it onto his head. And the scholars believe that she emptied the whole bottle on his head, and it's trickled all the way down to his feet, and it's dripping off his feet. So then she kneels in front of him and takes her hair, which in those days in that country, a lady's hair was her glory, so it was hidden from anyone in the street. So she's taken her glory and she's wiping his feet with what she has. It's not because she forgot to get a towel or something like that wouldn't have had any meaning. And to kneel in front of them, anybody, and touch their feet was seen as a job for a slave or a servant. So here she is being Jesus' servant, praying to him with whatever she has, with all of what she has, her own body, the ointment that she's paid probably all the money she had for. And yet the disciples that have been following him around, hearing all his words, seeing all of his miracles, still don't get it. So much so that Judas is going, why is she doing that? She should have sold that, being all critical, not seeing the worship, the glorification, and her absolute love for Jesus. And that always strikes me. Even reading the beginning of the Bible where people are following Moses through the desert and they see all the things he can do, part waters, and they still moan and groan and criticise everything they do. And that's our humanness, I believe, and how we're always critical and observant of things, but our own humanness kicks in rather than seeing and trusting in love and the words that Jesus told us. So here, this sort of tells me all about her prayer and glorification of Jesus and her absolute love for him, and that she totally gets who he is, and her faith is so strong that she gives all of herself. So it started me thinking, how do I pray? What would I give? What sort of thing do I have that brings me to that space of sacred love? And I thought, to me, music is what takes me there. Some people, it's prayer is closing your eyes and praying. Some people, it's being in the garden. Some people, it's cooking. Martha was yelling out to her, Mary, come and help me in the kitchen. She had all this cooking to do for Jesus. And that might have been the way Martha showed her prayer and her love, but it wasn't what Mary was thinking. So we all have our different ways of faith, of praying, of glorifying, of worshipping. So I just thought I'd ask some of you to say what it is that you might do, or where your sacred space is. Cooking for the family and watching them enjoying what you've made them.
Sharing the beauty of flowers as well.
Yeah, and the gifts that you've been given. Following the tigers doesn't...
That plays that one, doesn't it?
And golf, that's it. A few rounds with Jesus is not...
I think, personally, it's sitting and just watching, particularly the grandchildren, just sitting, watching them, how they enjoy life and how their interaction comes back and forwards to both myself and Joanne. You know, it's just something that's really special.
Yeah, friends and family.
Yeah.
Mine's a bit like that too. So it's the giving of myself as an old person that I've realised I can do, and I can do it in lots of different ways. Which it's not only the grandchildren, but obviously that's a big part of it. But then there's others, or even too when you're in the shops, first, and I'm ahead of someone, and they've got 1, 2 things, and I've got 5, bringing them through. Yeah. There's so many little things that you can do that are highlighted. We've been highlighting them here through this church in particular for me, because we start talking about going out and how we can be better persons of ourselves through the word of Jesus. Yeah. So we can show ourselves. So we don't have to say the words, but we're going to do the actions. And I'm finding myself doing it a lot more as I've got older. Yeah.
Come on, you do it to everyone else.
I like silence. That's where I find God.
just being silent. I was identified with Jesus when he says he withdrew to mountains to pray. I think that kind of, it's me, like to withdraw.
Pilgrimages. Got anything up there from the tech? No, he's gets reverence from silence as well. So I've written some verses to a song that's well known to us, and that's In the Garden. I've written some of the verses to take in silence and meditation, music, flowers, and
Tigers.
no tigers. Trials and tribulations, that could mean tigers. Where we, I remember it was 9/11, and the Twin Towers came down, and my daughter was very little, and it affected her, seeing it on the news every night. And one day she said, well, where's God in all that, Mum? And I know the news was on, and I said, see those people making sandwiches and doing things to people they don't know. So that's one of the verses, seeing other people help people they don't even know. And as we can see now in our floods, all those, the mud army or whatever, just tirelessly walking around with mops and buckets and going to people's houses, just helping them. And family and friends, I thought you might say that, because you always talk about your family.
And all those saints that died on Saturday.
Yeah.
The saints.
Yes. And of course, all our gifts that are given to us, and how we can use those gifts to bring something to other people's lives. Okay, so I'm going to play, and Jimmy's going to help me sing. And we're all going to sing together, and Greg's going to put it, he already has, so I hope the meter goes all right, but we'll muddle through.